A. What are the outcomes of adapting multi-grade teaching in a school compared with the outcomes of abandoning the students in grades for which there are no teachers?
The outcomes of adapting multi-grade teaching are the concept of social interactions of both teachers and learners. These outcomes tends the students to interact with each other regarding their ages, grade levels, and different abilities. And by that, it is possible for the young learners to develop their self-esteem, emotional, and enhancing their verbal skills with the help of their older classmates. In a multi-grade classroom, the curriculum is being combined and integrated in a sense that the learners should acquire those learnings and improving their knowledge, skills, as well as by the student-centered approach, in which learners have the opportunity to work on the activities that the teacher provided.
While on the other hand, the outcome of abandoning the students in which there are no teachers are usually tended to bind with different grade levels. The learning resources are not sufficient when the students are abandoned with their grade levels, especially to the learners in remote areas. In the Philippines, this multi-grade teaching is common to rural areas with a lack of teachers and learning facilities.
What are your feelings regarding the usefulness of multi-grade teaching if systematically carried out?
Teaching multi-grade is complex. Teaching random age students, different abilities and grade levels is a huge challenge. That's why teachers need to train for their teaching strategies become effective. We believe that if multi-grade teaching systematically carried out, the feeling for us a teacher is more overwhelming in the sense that you are seeing your student learning and helping each other despite different ages and grade level, as well as it might become beneficial, especially to the students in the isolated and remote areas with lack of teachers.
We believe that whatever the situation is, the teacher should adjust and become flexible. Other than that, if the teaching system is systematically carried out, it promotes learners with different capabilities, and we assume that our teacher always plays a vital role to provide quality education for all with full of passion and sincerity.
However, you'll become a multi-grade teacher. How are you going to arrange your class? Give a draft and explain the consideration of your arrangements.
There are a lot to consider on how you are going to arrange your class if you are a multi-grade teacher. First is the grade level. The different grade level is my first to consider in order to know what the level of lesson we will give to our student and to know their learning capacity. Multi-grade classroom is a diverse yet balanced grouping of students of mixed ages and different abilities, including special needs and gifted students. Enhanced social and natural setting in multi-grade classroom can help raise students' social and emotional skills. Third one is the teaching strategies. One of the most important to consider is the teaching strategies that we will going to use to our students, because each student have different learning capacity and preferences. That's why the teaching strategies must be appropriate in their grade level and their thinking capacity.
To continue, we should prepare more activities to integrate learning. We must be fun and always engage in our student in order to get their attention and to collaborate in the class. And also consider the two grade level. They could have the same activity but not the same content, or the other have much higher topic or lesson. Next is clear rules and policy. We should create a rules and regulation among students and teachers and also in our classroom in order to know each limitations and have peace and order inside the classroom. And lastly, identify the strengths and weaknesses. As a teacher, we should know what are the different strengths and weaknesses of our student in order to find what we must need to improve and prioritize.
When considering the class size, what are your views of teaching to more than one grade group?
When considering the class size, teaching more than one grade group makes the teacher shift with his or her co-teacher. Imagine that they are in isolated and remote areas and you have more than 40 students to cater. Class size is something to be considered in terms of teaching. Knowing the class size is a wise action of a teacher for him to distribute the learning inside the classroom equally and also to analyze what are the strategies and methods that can be used to an effective teaching. It was quite challenging for them to teach and discuss within a single day regarding class size, different ages and grade levels, and also the shortage of teacher was one of the main problems. However, in pertaining to a school with rural areas, they might come up resolving the problem such shortage and allocation of teachers. And aside from that, the curriculum become combined and integrated which produce greater outcomes, resulting to increased participation of every learners, and it was great opportunity for them to do activities regarding their skills, abilities, interests, personality, and age.
Another thing that is important to know how many students you have to teach because you need to observe each student depending on their learning skills and their behaviors. Teaching more than one grade may affect the students' engagement because it measures that students' participation in the class as well as the academic performance of a learning because it measures the students' learning and success at the end of the lesson. It is a challenge to consider a standard class size into a more than one grade group, but as what I've said above, it is a smart action of a teacher for him to balance his abilities that definitely used as his way of teaching in certain number of students in a more than one grade group.